Welcome. This short video is for DBMM beginners who've read the rules and want to know how to play better.
So this is a basic DBMM tactic about having a skirmish screen. If you're relying on your battle line to win, to decide the game, then giving it every advantage that you can will enable you to get a victory. So screening with skirmishers is a great way to do this. So here we've got a classic lineup of warband going in on blade. So this is a Gallic warband going in onto a Roman legionary line of blade O. So the Gauls are going to go in, and this is quite dangerous for the Romans because these attacks are 4/4s. And the Romans get quick killed by warband. So we'll start over here. Red will be the Roman dice and blue will be the Gallic dice. So we roll for the Romans, okay, a 3, and we roll for the Gauls, a 5. Okay, so boom, the first Roman legionary goes down. And we'll move on to the next one now with an overlap. So this is now a 4 for the Gauls against a 3 for the Romans. So the Romans roll a 2 and the Gauls roll a 1. So that's now a lock. So since they have tied, so those are equal. Okay, going on to the next one. This is still a 4 versus 4, since no overlaps. The Romans roll a 6, and the Gauls roll a 5. So the Gauls go backwards on that one. And now the final one, the Romans have a overlap. So they are a 4, and the Gauls are a 4 down to a 3. So the Romans roll a 5, and the Gauls roll a 3. So they are a 3, a 6, and the Romans are a 5 plus 4, a 9. So the Gauls go backwards. So we've seen, even though the Romans rolled well, they were not able to stop the Gauls from taking out one of their line, and they will probably lose out in the next turn. They'll probably kill a Gaul who has one overlap, but then the Gauls will run over them. Okay. So what's a better way of defending as the Roman line? Better way to defend would be to put up a skirmish screen. So let's go back to the starting position. And let's bring in a couple of velites as a skirmish screen for the Romans. Okay, don't have to be very good. They could even be Siloi I. The point is that they will act to disrupt and break up the Gallic attack. So let's say the Gauls go in impetuously. Okay, so all of them are charging into contact. Okay, so the position will look like this. Okay, we'll resolve the double overlap Siloi attack first. That is a 3 from the warband against a 0 for the Siloi because it's double overlapped. Siloi rolls a 4, the Romans roll a 2, so that is a net result of a 4 for the Siloi and a 5 for the Gauls, so the Siloi has to repulse. Okay, but very important, the Gauls cannot pursue a repulse from Siloi, so they have to stay where they are. On the other side, this is a 3-1. The Romans roll a 2, and the Gauls roll a 4. So that now becomes a 3 versus a 7, which is doubled, which means that the Siloi are spent. But the Gauls can't pursue a spent result either. So that results in a much safer position for the Roman blade line who has been hit. So the Romans are a 4. They'd be up against a 4 from the Gauls, but double overlap down to a 2. So this is now a 4-2. The Romans roll a 2, and the Gauls will roll a 2 as well. So this is a 4-2, becomes a 6-4, so the Gauls bounce. Okay. Final result, the Romans are on a 4, the Gauls are on a 4 down to a 3 because of single overlap. The Romans roll a 6, and the Gauls roll a 6 as well. So this goes up to a 10, this goes up to a 9, the Gauls are pushed back again. Okay, so because of the screen, the Romans were able to hold the line and not lose any of their blade in the first strike. That means in the second strike, they will now get to hit the Gauls across the line. Okay, so let's just go through and see what happens. The Romans are a factor of 4, the Gauls are a factor of 3. They don't get their rear rank support in their own turn. So the Romans start off with a 3, and the Gauls get a 6. So that's a bit unlucky. The Romans are pushed back, but not quick killed in this bound. We'll switch over to the other side because we really want to get the overlaps to cascade for the Romans. So this is a 4 for the Romans. Okay, goes up to an 8, and for the Gauls, okay, they've rolled a 1. So they lose. Quick kill on the warband as well. The Romans do not pursue because they don't need to, and they don't want to stay in contact if they can, and they can give a overlap to the next side without moving forward. So the Romans staying in as solid a line as they can. We will go to the next one. This is with an overlap in favor of the Romans. So this is a 4 versus a 2. So the Romans rolling on a 4. Okay, they only get a 1. The Gauls rolling on a 2. They get a 4. So despite having the advantage, the Romans are pushed back. Okay, the final attack, the Romans have 2 overlaps against them, so they're only a 2, and they're up against a 3 from the Gauls. So the Romans roll a 6, and the Gauls roll a 1. Okay, so that is a quick kill to the Romans. They probably won't go forwards since they already have an overlap on their opposition, and they will try and hold the line and reform it next turn. Okay, so even with bad rolling by the Romans, they were still able to kill 2 Gauls, and the next attack will be easier for them because the big columns are overlapped and the smaller ones are going to be only up against 1 rank of Gauls. So the skirmishers pretty decisive in avoiding Roman casualties in the first turn, which then sets up the Romans for a successful turn, killing Gauls in the next one. So whenever you've got a strong battle line, you want to screen it with skirmishers to give your side that edge. Silai work very well for screening foot because they can't get killed, they will just get spent or repulsed. Whereas against mounted, you might need a screen of light horse.